It's fall, which means football season is in full swing, and for many of us, there's no better way to enjoy the games than by having some skin in the game, which is why BetMGM remains the exclusive betting partner of The Athletic. And as a fan of The Athletic, you can bet $10 to win $150 plus a free 3-month subscription or an extension to your subscription with The Athletic when you bet with BetMGM using our promo code. Just sign up at BetMGM.com and use the promo code TheAthleticPod at checkout to take advantage of the special offer from the king of sports books. That's bet $10 to win $150 plus 3 months free from The Athletic at BetMGM.com and using the promo code TheAthleticPod at checkout. It's a new customer offer. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.
Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia only. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, Nevada, and Virginia. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan. 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. And 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. In Tennessee, call or text the red line at 800-889-9789. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. Promotional offer not available in Nevada.
And we're back. It is amazing how many times we sit in this room talking about games like this.
Doesn't matter who the coach is anymore, it seems.
It's unbelievable. You know, the Bears hit that shot. Andy Dalton, the Marquise Goodwin. It was like the Aaron Rodgers for Randall Cobb play. And it was like, wait a minute. That's not supposed to happen to the Bears. Is a good thing happening to the Bears? They're going to win? Come on, we know better than that.
Just too much time on the clock for Tyler Huntley, man.
Never leave.
What were they thinking?
Never leave Tyler Huntley a minute 33. Never. Everybody knows that.
And I was going down the list of players the Bears hit on the field at that time. Angelo Blackson, Cassius Marsh, Deion Bush, DeAndre Houston Carson. Who else was out there? Travis Gibson. Thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to pull this off with these guys. Marquis Christian? They're going to pull this off with these guys?
No.
And then another coverage breakdown. Deion Bush gets lost. I'm guessing it was him because he was the closest guy to him.
I don't know. It looked like nobody was even on that side of the field.
Yeah.
It looked like a cornerback was missing.
Well, it's possible because, you know, they've had too many men on the field and sometimes only 10 men on the field sometimes for the defense this year.
Just an unbelievable ending. Coverage bust, relatively easy touchdown run then for Devonta Freeman on the next play. And just like that, it's over. And there were so many bad things that happened throughout this game in all three phases and the coaching. Like, the offense was not good. Okay, like really at any point. Justin Fields was not playing well. Andy Dalton, cool, nice screen to Darnell Mooney. Otherwise, he was missing high, missing low. He does throw the touchdown pass at the end, but, I mean, that was a wide-open play, too. I don't want to kill the guy. Andy Dalton was okay, I guess. But the offense as a whole was a mess. The fourth down play calls were just not good.
The timeouts taken?
The timeouts, which we can get into. I mean, let's just start there.
Hoge and Jahns. Read him at NBC Sports Chicago. Follow him at Adam Hoge. Adam Jahns. Read me on The Athletic.
There you go.
Go.
Thanks.
Set you up. I know you wanted to talk about these timeouts. You asked Nagy about them.
Well, I mean, essentially wasted all 3 second-half timeouts. Like, none of the 3 timeouts were used for managing the clock.
For good.
Yeah, for good. For managing the clock in a tight game. And there you were, after the coverage bust. You did have the ball in your hands. You needed a field goal to tie, and you had none of your timeouts because they got wasted earlier in the half. So let's go through them. The first one was after that 3rd and 1 bomb they tried, which I don't think you're trying that bomb if you're planning on punting. But then let's go back to that situation. It's a tight game. The Ravens haven't scored all game, really. And you had a 9-7 lead at that point, right? Did I have that right? Or no, they had a 9-7. You had a 7-6 lead,
Correct.
I think, at that moment.
1 point lead.
You had a 7-6 lead, so you're protecting the lead. And, you know, in a lot of games, I would have loved to see the analytics on this, and I haven't seen this yet. Maybe we'll dig it up by Monday, but because the tracks the game, you know, the percentage of winning based on decisions and coaching decisions. I think Edge Sports does that. I actually felt like a punt there was the right call because you're at midfield They're not moving the ball. They have Tyler Huntley. If you can pin them back, I think you're feeling pretty good about it. Now, in hindsight, the way the defense gave up that last drive, maybe that's the wrong thing. I don't know. But by trying a bomb down the field, that tells me you're going to go for it on fourth down. Like, you're taking a shot. They actually got the coverage I think they wanted. They got the one-on-one matchup, and it was basically a foul ball from Andy Dalton. Drifted out of bounds in Darnell Mooney. So, again, players need to make the plays. But then it was really confusing to see the punt team out there after that. Like, that's, to me, the third down play call didn't add up with the punt team then coming on the field. And then we got Matt Nagy screaming at everybody on the sideline. Like, I couldn't tell what he was trying to.
Poor radio guy. Oh, man.
This guy in a yellow hat down there is getting just reamed out by the head coach. There was a problem with the headset. So Nagy's explanation after the game was basically he had no communication with upstairs on what the play call was going to be. And so he had to call timeout to get the headsets fixed. And then he ends up putting the offense out there. Which, again, let's just be real clear. I mean, I know there's a lot here to digest. But just be the head coach. Are you going for it or not? Then trust your offense coordinator to call the play. Like, why do you need to have that communication?
Yeah.
Serious question. Yeah. You make the call.
Just tell them what to do. Go for it.
Then trust them.
Here's my issue with the whole thing. That should have been decided before the 3rd-and-1 bomb.
What the play call was?
Yes.
Well, and maybe maybe it was. But his headset's out, so he doesn't know that. But again, just trust your OC to call the play. Why do you have, again, it's like, it's just showing.
What I would say is that should be hashed out before that, right? So Laser has time to make his decision on 4th down. Like, I don't mind the 3rd-and-1 bomb. We've seen Matt Nagy be aggressive in situations like that before. He has, whether it was Trubisky or Foles, they've been aggressive in 3rd and short situations before. They've taken that shot. We've seen that before, but they just looked ill-prepared. You know, like, I get that the headset issue becomes a convenient excuse. Sure, it's probably a legitimate one. But that conversation, those conversations that you lost in that moment that cost you the timeout, it should have been had before that 3rd-and-1 play. Like, this is what we're doing. If we don't get it, we're going for it on 4th.
Well, that's what's even more confusing. Because then he says that, because that's where they ran the Wildcat play, right?
Yeah.
They get a holding, and they get a holding call on top of that was declined because they didn't get it anyway.
Not a new play, he said.
He said that's what they had installed all week.
Yeah.
So then why'd you have to call timeout? No, but seriously, like, that doesn't add up to me.
Panic move, yeah.
Because you're saying shouldn't have already been hashed out.
Yes.
That's what he said. He said it was. That was the play they were going to run all week. So then what's the timeout for? Because he said he basically put the punt team out there because he didn't know what the call was and what they're. So none of that makes sense to me. The process does not make sense there. They wasted one of the timeouts.
But then it gets worse, man. Okay, that's an awful coaching decision. But then there's more that happens.
Right. So now we fast forward to the second one, which is maybe the most defensible. I don't know. So it's 4th down. It's 4th and 6. This is right after the 2-minute warning. Bears are driving. This is the drive they end up scoring and take the lead on. It's a crucial play. But you have 2 timeouts, and if you don't get the 1st down, you need those 2 timeouts to get the ball back. And Matt Nagy burns a timeout to make sure he gets the right call. Now, this one works out. They do end up converting on 4th down, and so you could say, oh, that was justified. But again, the problem I have there, and I do agree, if I have any doubts over what I'm seeing with the defense or the call that we maybe called originally, I agree with calling a timeout to make sure you get it right because it's such a crucial play. But I think the argument here is a more well-prepared team wouldn't need to call timeout there. They would just know what the next play is, get it out, get it run, and if they don't get it, now you have 2 timeouts for your defense to get the ball back. By using that timeout there, I should point out the clock was stopped too. Like, that's the problem. The clock was stopped. It was after an incompletion. It's not like the clock's running and you're trying to figure, we got to stop the clock. No, the clock was already stopped. And I just feel like a better prepared team just gets lined up, runs the next play.
The 3rd one's even worse, though.
The 3rd one, I don't even...
That is the definition of a wasted timeout.
It really is, and there's
I understand what you're saying about the second one.
right.
Agreed.
The first two, I think you can pick. You can pick on a little bit.
Fine, you can give them the excuses if they want. Well, whatever. I still don't like the first one, but the third one, Kevin Fishbane, our guy, the Fish Man, doesn't scream out in the press box, but says it loudly enough where everybody hears it in the press row. Oh, they should be going for 2 here. This is even before, Cairo Santos runs onto the field.
Yeah.
But they call a timeout, you wasted it. You absolutely wasted a timeout there.
It's the second time they've called timeout this year, by the way, on a PAT. Okay. So they score the game-winning, or the go-ahead, obviously not game-winning, they lost the game. Go-ahead touchdown. Matt Nagy points to the chaos that's ensuing, and everybody's celebrating. Come on, man. You got to know, and this is actually something I can speak to as a coach, as a special teams coordinator. The head coach and the special teams coordinator are the two most in charge of understanding if you're going for 1 or 2, okay? To the point that as this is all, they're running out, they score and they go up 4, all right? So kicking a PAT puts you up 5. There's nothing. Going for 2 puts you up 6, which at least gives you the possibility if they go out and score a touchdown, they can miss the extra point and it's a tie game. There is no logical argument for not going for 2. So when they ran the PAT team out there, or the field goal team out there for the point after, my brain is like, wait, what's going on? I literally go into my bag where I have a chart still left over from our high school football. It's sitting right there in my bag because I had to double check it. Wait a minute. And I'll say, sometimes there is chaos. Sometimes things are going on, which is why you keep a chart right there. And it specifically says, you're up this many points or you're down this many points, and tells you what to do. That's preparation. The fact that they ever ran the field goal team out there is an inexcusable coaching mistake. And then you had to burn the timeout because you did it and they realized they should have been going for 2.
Say you made the mistake. Oh, crap, I set my field goal kicker out there. Then so be it. You know what I mean?
I mean, at that point, you could argue the timeout is more valuable than the 1 point.
If there's one thing we learned from the loss against the Steelers, you could use an extra timeout.
Yeah, and then they didn't get the 2-point conversion anyway.
They did not.
So, I mean, to me, that moment right there might be the John Fox challenging the touchdown against the Packers and getting it overturned.
For a touchdown.
Yes. And giving the ball. The review turned into a turnover and gave the Packers the ball.
It's inexcusable. And you know what we've heard from Nagy is that by not calling the plays, I'm more tuned in to everything else that's going on, right?
Yeah.
I feel more prepared. I can talk to Chris Tabor more. I don't have my head in the thinking about the next play. He can watch the game, feel the game. You could throw that out the door right now because he did not seem prepared, did not seem to have a handle for the moment. Sure, he maybe got caught up in it, but then that's a bad sign too. He panicked.
Yeah.
He panicked, and I get that every win is extremely important for him because his seat is hot as the Soldier Field faithful.
Fire Nagy chance.
Yeah, there was Nagy sucks chance before that. It's bad, man.
And this is where it crosses the line from, I think you can have well-reasoned conversations sometimes about the offense and how much of it is the play calling or the design or the scheme, the rookie quarterback, the poor offensive line play at times, which has gotten better. That's more of a nuanced conversation. We're talking about pretty hard, fast, bad uses of game management by the coaching staff. Today was and then we haven't even mentioned how far we are into this podcast that Lamar Jackson didn't play today. It all looks bad. To me, this was the worst possible outcome Matt Nagy could have had today. You're getting a gift that Lamar Jackson's not playing. You're getting the gift. All you need to do is build on what you did in the second half in Pittsburgh offensively, and you win this game easily. Now, you didn't have Allen Robinson, and that hurts. But otherwise, you had the same
I don't
offense.
think he's putting up crazy numbers this year in your offense.
No, but he wasn't. Allen Robinson had his best game in Pittsburgh. And
That's fine.
That made a difference. You should have managed more than what you had, which was like 7 points.
Tyler Huntley should not
quarter.
look like the better quarterback.
Right. Perfect way to put it.
He just shouldn't. With all due respect to Tyler Huntley, he should not look better than Justin Fields in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I get that the Ravens throw a lot at rookie quarterbacks. I get they blitz a ton. It can get confusing. But they still entered this game allowing 283.3 passing yards per game, the most in the NFL.
Yep.
This is not the Ravens defense that everybody is familiar with. They're not that good. Sure, they're okay on third down. They're good in the red zone and whatnot. But, you can get yards on them. You can throw on them. I think if you see some of their previous games, they're prone to making big mistakes.
Put it this way. This was probably the first time all season a Justin Fields fantasy owner could have started him and felt confident. That's what it should have been. And that's obviously not how it played
Instead,
out.
you got, Justin Fields running design runs on the first downs of 3 of his first 4 possessions, which is okay. Use his legs, make the Ravens fear that, but didn't really gain a lot out of it after the first one. The 3rd and 5 pitch play to David Montgomery. How bad was that play?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. They keep doing that. I don't know.
What are you doing there?
The toss sweep? Is that what you're talking about, the first 4th down?
Yeah.
The
That preceded the 40-yard miss from Cairo Santos. What are you doing?
Which is another thing. Special teams, not good today.
For all the hate that Matt Nagy gets as a play caller, I think we've all forgotten that Bill Lazor might be bad at it too.
It's possible. It's possible.
They're still not scoring.
Yeah.
Again.
But again, also, I'm going to die on this hill. I will die on this hill. I don't think Cairo Santos misses that field goal if his streak's still alive. I swear to God, it's a 40-yard field goal. It's something he's been draining. And that useless, impossible 65-yarder in Pittsburgh last week at the end of the game was so ill-advised. I actually would still say that's worse than the timeout mishap at the end and not knowing to go for 2 at the end of this game. Because it was an impossible play. At least a Hail Mary has a percent. We see Hail Marys every year. You ever seen a 65-yard field goal from a kicker who's never made more than a 56-yarder in his life?
No.
Or in a stadium that's never had more than a 55-yard field goal ever in the history of the stadium? It had a 0% chance of working.
Chris Tabor say last week that he said, no, don't do it? He didn't come out and say it exactly, but that was kind of sad, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was confused by Tabor's presser. He's never going to throw the head coach under the bus.
No.
But I swear to you, I'm bringing this up again today because I think it cost him 3 points today. Now, you got to you're still the kicker. You have to make the field goal.
Do your job.
But I'm telling you, I do not think he misses it if his streak's still alive. If he doesn't miss the one last week. He's locked in.
Yeah, maybe.
It screwed it all up.
Maybe.
It's just another thing to question. Another thing. Another one. He's now 0-4 coming out of the bye.
With losses to
3 backup quarterbacks. 3 of those 4 losses. One of them was Aaron Rodgers last year. Okay. The other 3 losses to Brock Osweiler, Teddy Bridgewater, when the Saints didn't have Drew Brees, in a game that they got just
throttled.
It was an ugly game. They weren't even in it. And then Tyler freaking Huntley today.
Something's not working, that suggests, Adam.
Holy moly. I mean, that's bad.
5-game losing streak. A 6-gamer last year.
4-gamer the year before that.
Yeah, it's not good. I get that Nagy will start praising the fight of his team, but sometimes you're just saved by how mediocre the league is.
What fight was there today?
No. But you know what he's going to say, and everybody should ignore when that's said this year. Sometimes you're just saved, again, by how mediocre the rest of the league is. And, yeah, it's...
I mean, we're supposed to consider a wide-open bomb to Marquise Goodwin at the end of the game. Fight. When you brought it up, it's the worst pass defense in the league.
Yeah.
So you finally waited till the 4th quarter to do that? I mean, I don't... Darnell Mooney had 16 targets today and 5 catches. 16 targets.
Yeah, some of
and
those
5
drops,
catches.
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You had drops in there. You had missed, just errant passes. Was not good. I don't. And just to look at the missed opportunity here. I mean, you win this game. You're going to Detroit, feeling pretty good, even if it's kind of fool's gold. You're playing a winless Lions. You win that game. You're 5-6.
Now you're feeling pretty beatable. Are you not?
Oh, on Thursday against the Lions? Yes. The Lions lost by 3 today. They tied the Steelers last week. So they tied the Steelers. They lost by 3 to the Browns. Both teams would beat the Bears this year, by the way. I think it's a very losable game.
Very losable. Regardless of who's at quarterback.
So that brings up the question. I think it's fair at this point. If they were to go into you're not going to fire Matt Nagy. You got a game in 3 days. It's not happening tomorrow. And they never do this to begin with. That's why I'm about to ask this question. If you do lose, and context within the losses matter, like the last couple of losses actually felt pretty decent because Justin Fields played well.
Yeah.
This one, nothing about this feels good today. And it looks very bad for Matt Nagy for all the reasons we've already talked about. If you have another one of these games on national television Thursday, where it's not just you lost to a team that hadn't won a game yet this season, but you look bad doing it, is there any scenario in which they pull the trigger Friday?
George McCaskey would be breaking his own protocols.
But isn't it time to start breaking protocols?
Yes. Let's well past that, man. Well past that.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I think he's going to do it.
No, I know. That's a different conversation.
But he should.
I mean, past history, like, this is something I've got. Your history sucks.
And
stop talking about your history and the way you do things.
As Nagy's absence, when he was positive with COVID-19 revealed, like Chris Tabor can handle this.
Yes.
I mean, what's the freaking difference? Honest question. What's the difference?
I would suggest that we don't know this. There is a possible scenario that Chris Tabor was telling Nagy that the card says go for 2, and they still didn't do it originally. I could be wrong. Maybe they were both wrong at the same time. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't some type of conversation going on there in the moment. It should have actually happened before the touchdown was even scored. You should know if you're scored in that situation what you're doing. You should not need a timeout to clean it up. But, yeah, I mean, Tabor this season's lost anyway. I think the bigger question there is, are you hurting Justin Fields if Nagy's not around?
Well, here's the problem. Justin Fields is freaking hurt.
I know.
Your game plan of him running around, going empty set,
taking a beating, hit after hit after hit.
Yes, when you know this team hits quarterbacks. They're aggressive. And there is nothing left for this team to evaluate. I put this in my column. There's nothing left for George McCaskey and Ted Phillips to evaluate if Justin Fields is not playing. There is nothing else. It's just the potential to get worse. If Justin Fields has cracked ribs, it's never a good sign when he goes from questionable to return to out within a matter of minutes.
Because usually an X-ray occurred.
Yes. And they saw their answer.
Yeah.
Not a good sign. If Justin Fields is not playing, there is nothing left for ownership to evaluate for this season.
And there's also no way Matt Nagy did not know how bad it was when he came to the
There's nothing left.
And if he didn't know, then that's also bad.
And you don't beat the Lions on Thanksgiving. Who cares? Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey. Doesn't matter.
Oh, man, we got to go to Detroit for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we do.
That sucks.
I'll see you there.
I like vow to never ever complain about this job because, there's a lot of people watching and listening.
It.
We do love it. But, sometimes having to go to Detroit on Thanksgiving to watch
who played quarterback for them today?
Tim Boyle.
I don't want to watch Tim Boyle play against Andy Dalton.
We've seen David Blau.
Yes.
We've seen this happen.
I miss you, Matthew Stafford.
Oh, man.
Calvin Johnson, what are you doing these days? When the moment is right, you need to be ready. That's Roman Ready. Go to GetRoman.com/Adam now to speak to U.S. licensed healthcare professional to talk about erectile dysfunction. Get $15 off your first month of treatment. ED is more common than most people think. In fact, 52% of men between the ages of 40 and 70 will experience some form of ED. Roman's system is completely confidential and totally discreet. No big logos or labels on packages. With Roman, you get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, convenient, and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/Adam and complete an online visit. Take care of your ED without leaving your home. Complete an online visit today to connect with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional and take care of it. Go to GetRoman.com/Adam today. If you're prescribed, get $15 off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this fall. Roman Ready.
This episode is brought to you by Four Sigmatic, a wellness company that is well known for its delicious mushroom coffee. You heard me talking about this before. Four Sigmatic's mushroom coffee is real, organic, fair trade, single origin Arabica coffee with lion's mane mushroom for productivity and chaga mushroom for immune support. I need some right now, to be honest with you. I go to this when I need that extra boost of focus so I can get things done. And it's just better than regular coffee because it's amazing. You feel that uptick in productivity every time you drink it, and it helps you focus. It's easy on your gut, too. Doesn't leave you with that awful, jittery feeling or midday crash. All Four Sigmatic products are organic, vegan, and gluten-free. Plus, every single batch is third-party lab tested to ensure its purity and safety, so you know you're getting the highest quality coffee and mushrooms possible. They have over 20,000 5-star reviews, and best of all, Four Sigmatic backs their products with a 100% money-back guarantee. Love every sip or get your money back. And no, this coffee does not taste like mushrooms. It tastes just like the coffee you love. It brews dark, nutty, and tastes incredible. And we've worked out an exclusive offer with Four Sigmatic on their best-selling mushroom coffee, but this is just for Hoge and Jahns listeners. Get up to 40% off and free shipping on mushroom coffee bundles. To claim this deal, you must go to foursigmatic.com/Adam. Again, this offer is only for Hoge and Jahns listeners. It is not available on the regular website. You'll save up to 40% off and get free shipping. So go right now to foursigmatic.com. That's foursigmatic.com/Adam and fuel your productivity and creativity with some delicious mushroom coffee. We're all trying to eat better, but when things are busy, like during football season, that could be hard, especially breakfast. You're trying to get the kids out of the house. You got all kinds of things going on. Everybody's in a rush, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring or hard to do. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. There's only 140 calories a serving. Keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb, all of that stuff. And you build your own box. Very easy to do. You got amazing flavors to choose from. Cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle. And as I've been telling you, cookies and cream and maple waffle, they're so good. They're so popular. They are now back permanently. So go to magicspoon.com/Adam to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. Be sure to use our promo code ADAM at checkout to save $5 off your order. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, to get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/Adam. Use the promo code ADAM to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. Hey, you've probably heard of Masterclass, but what exactly is it? With Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, at your own pace. Few examples. You can learn how to play poker from Phil Ivey. You can learn how to cook with Gordon Ramsay. Or you can even learn some basketball skills from Steph Curry. With over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. I've been checking out a couple of these classes. You may know this already, but I tend to dabble in the ukulele a little bit in the off season. And there's a ukulele class on there. And I was blown away by some of the details and things I'd never really thought of or done because I've never really had a professional class that I've taken to play ukulele on there. But it's right there on Masterclass, and just little things like that. If you've ever wanted to try it, or if you're already doing something, you want to get better at it, you just check out masterclass.com. This holiday, you can give one annual membership and get one free just by going to masterclass.com/firstdown today. That's masterclass.com/firstdown. Again, give one annual membership, get one free at masterclass.com/firstdown. Terms apply.
You wanted to play Robert Quinn.
Oh, yeah, we should do that before we get out of here. So it's kind of, it was nice to see that people on that defense do care, though. Like, this is the first game that Roquan Smith hasn't talked after a game.
Well,
that was
you know what, though?
But apparently
that man played his ass off today. 16 tackles, 2 for loss, all over the field.
And so did Robert Quinn.
3.5 sacks. And he was distraught. He was not pleased.
So, and I did not see this, but apparently it was on the broadcast. People were talking about it on Twitter. I guess Roquan Smith was really like visibly pissed off on the sideline or whatever on the field after that whole sequence at the end of the game. We did not hear from him afterwards, but Robert Quinn spoke, and you can hear the disgust in his voice. So here he is, Robert Quinn. This is his entire post-game press conference, which I think is worth listening to.
Well, it's not a. It's sickening. You know, I'll just put it that way. It's you know, it's like a punch to the gut. It's we had the lead. Ball was in, you know, the Ravens had the ball and it was in the defensive, for us to close it out, and we didn't do that. So it's a gut punch.
Robert, when did you have an idea that you wouldn't be facing Lamar today, and how did that change things for you guys?
We found out like right before, you know, we went out or started, and really didn't change anything. Number 2, he's a mobile quarterback just like him. We just stuck to our game plan. We just didn't finish.
Trevor, what was the tenor of your defensive huddles on that last drive? I mean, was there a panic? Were you certain you were going to get the job?
No, it was more just making sure. I don't sound comical thinking about it. Making sure guys do their 111 so they didn't score, but they scored. So I'll just leave it at that.
Robert, you guys, it's been a while since you guys have won a game. Does this feel like a low point during that stretch?
To me, it's week to week. Right now it's sickening, because in the fashion in which we just lost, and especially I was on the field when it happened, so it's sickening. At the end of the day, this game, again, I like to say this game over with and on to next week. Let's just try to figure out a way.
The fact that you have 4 days to try to figure out a way, what's the challenge?
Get your legs fresh, and really that's it. I don't know if they're coming off a short week too, so whoever can get fresh and basically man up and execute the best when we get back out there. So not to make football complicated or anything.
Robert, you have a decade in the league as a successful player, a professional. How does it sit with you to have a strong defensive performance overall for the game undercut by guys not doing their job at the end?
It's not, I would say that last drive, it sucked because, again, it was in our hands. But there's bits and pieces. I know one drive, I was just telling to myself, I got, out leverage and, down that drive, they got 3 points. So if I did a better job, maybe, 3 points off the board, and it's a whole different game. At the end of the day, defense, we were out there. We had an opportunity to close the game as a defense, which we pride ourselves on, and we didn't do that. So we really got we got to look ourselves in the mirror and figure out who we really are.
Rob, I appreciate you, not wanting to stand in front of the media and publicly talk about whatever mishaps took place on the field, especially that last drive. But are those conversations that you guys will have privately, one-on-one, where you go to guys and say, hey, this breakdown here is unacceptable. This thing can't happen.
I mean, at some point, you just no need to be sensitive. I mean, call a spade a spade. You know, again, when a play call is called, everybody has a 1/11th. Do your 1/11th. If you ain't do your 1/11th and you get called out, don't be sensitive. Get yourself fixed and get it right. Man. I'll just leave it at that.
Robert, the big play on that last drive was the 3rd and 12 that they hit against busted coverage. Any sense for what allowed that to spring open for them?
I wasn't covering on that play. I have no idea what the coverage was. So, I couldn't tell you much about that.
Second straight year, you guys have had a really, really long losing streak with you here, obviously. You lose faith in the direction of things when you go through a stretch as long as this? Me personally, I literally of course I look at our record, but can't change it. So I just really try to stay week to week, and you know that's how I keep it fun. You know, you look into the rear view, and now you're feeling sorry for yourself. Now you're carrying unnecessary weight. So I mean, yeah, it sucks, and I'm not saying I'm not upset about our record, but I mean I put it behind us, and again, come Thursday, can we show up and can me and we as a Bears perform like we're supposed to and give people something to cheer about?
Being in a similar position last year with having, you know, as Dan just said, a really long losing streak and having to break off several wins to get yourself in a position in the playoffs. What does it take for you all to get to that point where you basically have to win every game?
Well, simple philosophy, have more points on the board than the team. Again, offense, special teams, I really don't have too much to do about, but, you know, defense, again, we can keep more points off the board. I mean, that's all I can really control, you know, at least my part, and just trying to keep points off the board and score because we can score on defense. So maybe we just got to raise our standards and expectation for ourselves and actually start performing like we want to, but you know, if was a fifth.
Now again, to ramble off that list from the beginning of the podcast, you're down to Cassius Marsh, Angelo Blackson, Deion Bush, Archie Christian, DeAndre Houston Carson. These are guys you do not want to be counting on to shut down the opponent. There's no Khalil Mack. There's no Akeem Hicks. I mean, you were banged up.
Eddie Jackson.
No Eddie Jackson. You were banged up. Yeah. They were close, but
you're going up against Tyler Hunt.
Again, yeah.
And that group was the same group on the field the whole game that had not allowed a touchdown yet.
Yeah.
And to let them go down the field that easily is unbelievable. And you could tell without him saying it, Robert Quinn was pissed at whoever's fault it was on that busted coverage.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get more answers Monday. Let's see. Coordinators probably talk Tuesday this week.
It's gonna be
a fast week.
Jumbled mess.
I don't know if we'll get those answers. All I know is it's really bad. This is about as a really kind of worst case scenario loss for a team that, look, even if they had improved to 5-6 by Thursday, they weren't going to be good enough to make the playoffs.
No.
With all those injuries you just rattled off on their defense. But it would have had maybe a different vibe. Maybe, like it could have had, and maybe fans don't even want this, but it could have had a better feel for.
Well, you would have
Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace.
You would have the development of Justin Fields taking place, if that's the case, right?
Well, that's another point. Like, depending on how hurt Justin Fields is, like Justin Fields could have been the ticket for Matt Nagy saving his job.
Yes,
now he doesn't have
no.
Him. So regardless, even just the in-game stuff that happened, like the injury. I mean, I just got to imagine if you're Matt Nagy driving home right now as we're recording this, like, how could today have been worse? I mean, it can get worse.
I mean, it could have been worse.
It can get worse Thursday.
I've seen worse games. I have seen worse games, but this one was ugly. This was one of the. Now I've said this recently a lot. That's one of the worst losses of the Matt Nagy era, and those worst losses are adding up.
Cleveland.
This might be worse than that.
Oof. Wow. Yeah, I think I black out sometimes and forget some games because they're so bad. Like you just kind of oh yeah, that happened. We'll get through it.
We'll be here.
They're 3-7. This loss definitely clinches like they're no shot at making the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah, not that was going to happen anyway. But at least they can't, cling to a playoff berth and not very competitive loss to the Saints in the playoffs to, justify everybody coming back. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
but they might try. Who knows? This is going to be interesting these next few days. A lot of people are going to be talking in a short amount of time. Could be emotional. I think it just sets up Thursday for bad things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've
been through this before, though. This is... We've covered Mark Trestman. We've covered John Fox. Yeah. And this season has the feeling of one of their seasons.
Well, and especially a game like this. And like that moment I'm talking about where you don't know that you're supposed to go for two. Relatively obvious. You mentioned Kevin Fishbane screaming out of the press box.
Well, not screaming, but like...
Well, just the fact
why aren't they going for two? That's what
I'm
trying to do. Kevin Fishbane.
John Fox would say the hot dog laden press conference. Well, up here in the hot dog laden...
I ate two today.
Plenty of hot dogs because apparently,
it's all they serve here.
Yeah. You got reporters yelling out, hey, you're supposed to go for two here. You got,
Woo! Thanks for watching.
We're out of here.
Thanks for listening.
Follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns. Post-game columns are up. Mine's at NBCSportsChicago.com. John's on theathletic.com/HogeandJahns. You should be subscribed. Check out our YouTube channel where you can watch our disgusted faces as we talk about this. And subscribe there. We appreciate you doing that. Still a couple weeks to get obvious shirts. All proceeds going to the 22Q Family Foundation. Shirts, sweatshirts, hats coming, I promise. It's all there for you. Thank you for being loyal listeners, viewers. We're not going anywhere. There's 7 more games left.
Yes.
We've done this before.
Oh, yeah.
Don't doubt
we'll get through it.
Do not doubt our ability to get through these seasons. We are experienced.
We got through the 2014 Chicago Bears. This is nothing.
If it goes that route, though, whoa. Watch out. All right, we're out of here. We'll talk to you Thursday. No, Tuesday. Then we'll be in Detroit Thursday. Again, Thanksgiving. Yippee! Talk to you Tuesday. See ya.
Hoge.
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 Hoge.